Welcome back, you guys, to another Madden 23 Lions franchise episode. And this week we are playing against the Chicago Bears, who are 3-7. But this is an important game for a variety of different reasons. One is that it's a divisional game. You know, we are kind of like pretty far ahead in the division. We're 8-2. The Packers are 4-6. But really, the main reason why this game is important is because we kind of have a little bit of a rivalry with the Bears. Because last season we played them and we got smoked in our first game against them. We lost by a lot. And then the second game of the season we came back and we beat them. And then we ended up playing against them in the playoffs a third time and we won. Also, the last time we played them last season, they had Marcus Mariota still. They actually have a new quarterback now. And the interesting thing about this is that in the first round, the 24th overall pick, we drafted Jake Zimmer, our future franchise quarterback. If we look at Jake Zimmer's stats up to this point in the season, he has about 2,000 passing yards. He's averaging about 213 passing yards per game. He has 21 touchdowns and 9 interceptions and has a 61% completion percentage. If we look at his ratings, he has 93 throw power. He's got really good short and medium accuracy. His deep accuracy is okay. He has good throw on the run. His awareness is solid. His break sack is good. His play action is getting better. His throw under pressure is still pretty low, but we're working on it. His speed and excel, his agility, his change of direction are all very good. His juke is very good for a QB. He's got good injury and stamina. And the number one thing is that he has superstar X factor. And he's 21 years old, 6'1". Now, any of you guys that paid attention during the draft last season, Marco Keaton was actually on our board as a QB that we were interested in. And we had the opportunity to draft him if we wanted to, but instead we went with Jake Zimmer, which I think was ultimately the right choice. But Marco Keaton ends up getting drafted at pick number 25, one pick after Jake Zimmer, by the Bears. And he right now has 2,500 passing yards, 21 TDs, and 8 interceptions, and a 62% completion percentage, which is very similar to Jake Zimmer's stats up to this point. Now, looking at his ratings, he has 92 throw power, good deep accuracy, medium and short. He's, pretty good all around. He's got better throw under pressure. He's got really good excel, good agility, good change of direction, good injury stamina, juke, toughness, and his speed is, his 80, it's serviceable. Not that high of carrying, but he's pretty comparable to Jake Zimmer. And the biggest change right now is that after last week, we've decided to go ahead and move Hebert up to the number 1 spot. Breaking one tackle, getting up to the 40 in a good first run from Hebert, getting 16 yards on the first carry, and that explosiveness further cements kind of is a great reason why we decided to start him in this game. Posey on the drag, picking up the first down and more before getting nailed out of bounds. 23 yards, getting a lot of those yards after the catch. In single back now with 2 tight ends, and we're going to let Hebert go ahead and run this again. They do have a lot of people down in the box, and only losing 1 yard on the play actually, but underneath we got Hebert. That's probably the worst part about his game. He's not much of a receiving back. Loses 2 yards on the catch, but admittedly, it was a throw behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 13 now. And now we're in a jumbo formation here with 3 tight ends on the field, and we got a couple kind of like crossing routes. Posey's going to get open in man coverage. He ends up getting the ball and hanging on to it. I don't know how Jake Zimmer makes those throws sometimes where he's getting hit as he's making the throw, and they seem to be so accurate. It's going to be 4th and 3 now, down at the 31. And yeah, that's a crazy throw. We're going to go ahead and just take the field goal here. And again, despite the fact that the Bears are 3-7, cannot get put into a trap game situation where we take them too lightly. And again, we need to continue this rivalry against them. And now there's a whole new reason that we want to beat the Bears, and it's because we want to have Jake Zimmer beat Marco Keaton. I'm sure that, in the future, these two quarterbacks are going to be linked for quite a while, being in the same division and being back-to-back picks in the draft. And they both seem to be, obviously Jake Zimmer's really good, but it seems like Marco Keaton's really good as well, and his stats have been very solid. On 1st and 10, this is our first look at Marco Keaton. I think he has 21 TDs on the season. We're watching them to drag as much as we can. It's an incompletion. Almost gets picked off the deflection. All right, 2nd and 10 now. We got Isaiah Simmons kind of in the back a little bit here. We got Christian Harris on the field now and Baron Browning. It's going to be a run, this time with Saquon and Tariq coming down and laying the woods. 3rd and 14 now. And a 3rd and long situation. What are they going to do with their rookie quarterback? What are they going to do? Are they going to put him in a situation where he actually has to make a throw? We're watching over the middle. Surtain one-on-one, and he gets the pick. You do not want to throw that way this season. That is his 14th interception on the season, and I believe he's now tied for the record for a season with 14 picks. And they actually came down with an injury on that play as well, but Keaton not starting off super well, kind of forcing the throw up to his receiver. On 3rd and 3, running a little I form, see me a little play action. And they're bringing some pressure, trying to get the throw off in time, and an absolute dart to Juwan Johnson. And Jake Zimmer throwing that as he's running away from the line of scrimmage. Looks like Charles Leno's going to be healthy enough to come back, though. 1st and 10, running a little motion, a little fake jet sweep. Hebert getting up to the 36, getting 4 yards on that carry. And that is just something that we have not been seeing out of the run game when Ramondre was in. You know, this season he's been averaging 1 or 2 yards per carry most times. Here, though, kind of trying to run outside and, you know, losing some yards. Hebert's still averaging 4 yards per carry, so not bad. On 3rd and 9, running a little vertical kind of formation here. We got Cooper in the seam, able to pick up the first, throw a defender off of him, down to the 22. Tried to run cover 4 in that situation. It was not a good idea. Here we've got, again, 2 tight ends down the line. Following our blockers. Hebert gets 3 yards on the carry. Nothing crazy. On 2nd and 8 now. Going to have Antoine Andrews on a jet sweep. See if he can do anything. He's not really your prototypical sort of jet sweep type of receiver. At 6'4", not all that fast. Picks up 2 yards on the carry. Again, we've been in a kind of a jumbo set most of this game up to this point. Following our blockers again, almost getting the first down. Only picking up 1 yard. It's going to be 4th and 4. And we're starting to get less and less yards each run play, but I think part of it is we're kind of rushing things. We're not exactly picking the optimal run play for the situation. Not putting Hebert in the best situation possible, per se. Picking up another field goal, so it's only a 6-point game, a 1-possession game with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. And Marco Keaton's going to have another opportunity to come out here and kind of show us what he can do. Last possession kind of ended for them with kind of like a little bit of a Hail Mary, just throwing up to a receiver, kind of praying that he's going to do something. But, you know, if you're going to do that, you probably want to throw that to Tariq Woolen's side, surprisingly. Tariq has been that corner that's been kind of beat on jump balls. Even though he's 6'4", he's got the height, he's got the speed. Oh, and he finally throws it right past Christian Harris. And Keaton now 1 for 3 for 9 yards. Not a great stat line, but I don't believe it couldn't get better, possibly. Oh, throwing the short out to Saquon. Saquon picked up the first down, takes a hit. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. All right, we're in nickel now. Not big nickel. We're in just regular nickel. We got Josh Jones on the field right now. I actually don't love that. Saquon running it. Gets tackled, though, after a gain of 2. So Saquon now up to -2 yards on 2 carries. Here we're running a little bit of a man blitz. I don't love this in empty. We're watching drag routes. We got it covered. Christian Harris is there, and Keaton just throwing right at the defense like he didn't even see him. Isaiah Simmons trying to get the block, but Christian Harris is going to take it all the way for the TD. And yeah, I don't know what Keaton was looking at on that play. Christian Harris blanketed George Kittle, who I guess is kind of like his safety net. All right, 1st and 10. Another chance for the Bears to come out here and show us what they can do. They've turned the ball over on their last 2 possessions, making it a whole lot easier for us to take a lead at this point in the game. And Saquon still not getting off to a great start. Still in base 3-4 here. They're in an empty, so they should have an advantage theoretically here. Throwing it underneath. Harris laying out the receiver again. 3rd and 5 now. We're going to play some cover 2. We might get burnt here on the right side. They do have a lot of receivers over there. We're watching it. And they run a screen and can't even get the pass off. Keaton now 3 for 7 for only 20 yards. 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and they're going to be punting it back to us. And our defense has made this a whole lot easier for our offense. Trying to get the block here, and we do. Isaiah Simmons on the return. Can he get the edge? And they just barely get the tackle at the 33. And despite the fact that our offense has not been on the field that much, they do seem like they're pretty fatigued. 1st and 10 on the inside zone, and we're going to bump it outside with Lionel Hebert, and he breaks 1 tackle, gets 2 yards, 3 yards on the carry on 2nd and 7. Have not passed the ball all that much. Haven't really needed to. Run underneath the Cooper. Cooper able to pick up the first and a little bit more. And Jake Zimmer is 7 for 7 at this point. And run a little no huddle here. I think we kind of have the defense on their heels a little bit. Throwing it up to Antoine Andrews here in kind of beating the zone. Antoine able to hold onto the ball down at the 27. Run a little bit more no huddle here. Seeing if they're going to call a timeout. They're not going to, so we're going to keep running it. Cordarrelle has the opportunity to run this football and doesn't do anything with it. Loses 2 yards, and we're going to slow it down a little bit. 2nd and 12 now. Calvin Austin on the field. We got Quentin Posey running a corner route, and he gets tipped out of bounds. Had no chance of kind of being caught by either team. A little bit inaccurate there, but kind of lucky for us. That probably would have ended up getting picked off. Here it looks like it might be... Looks like it's zone here, and it looks like it's either cover 4 or cover 2. If it's cover 2, Antoine or Calvin Austin has an easy touchdown. I think it might be Antoine, though. Antoine 1-on-1, 2-on-1 in the back left corner. And it probably was cover 4 there. It was cover 6. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of a force there. Kind of thought that Antoine might be able to go up and get it anyways with his 6'4" frame. But taking the field goal again. We have 3 field goals. Getting in the red zone 3 straight times. But not able to score a single touchdown on offense. And again, Marco Keaton has a very similar stat line to Jake Zimmer. It's averaging more passing yards per game, but not as many turnovers. But this game, he has really struggled to pass the ball. Finally gets a Keenan Allen open on a slant with Eric Stokes 1-on-1. Now in an empty, we're playing man, doing a little bit of a blitz here. A little bit risky. Watching the slants again, but they have a short out for the receiver. Baron Browning lays a big hit. And Jarvis Landry might want to get tested for a concussion. He has been hit so many times in this first half especially. We got George Kittle 1-on-1 with Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons finally tackles him down at the 38. Couldn't get there in time to make a play on the ball and force a tip or an incompletion. 1st and 10 in shotgun again here with Saquon. And Saquon's going to run it up the middle. We got linebackers that are waiting for him, though, and now he is up to only a negative 1 yard, a 1 yard loss on 4 carries. So we've done a great job kind of containing Saquon in this game. Remember in previous games it was a little bit harder. Getting a big hit is Surtain, and Keaton finally putting a drive together here before the 2-minute warning. Now really to regain some confidence and some momentum here, you really want to see Keaton score a touchdown in the red zone with less than 2 minutes and a half. But we'll see if he can do that or not. Throwing it underneath. Simmons comes down, gets the tackle at the 12. It's going to be 2nd and 5. Keaton, with a good completion percentage, but the 2 picks are brutal. Watching underneath, trying to get the hit on Saquon, but we miss it. Finding Saquon. He's got a variety of weapons on this Bears offense. And DeMarcus Lawrence comes down with an injury, and Trey Hendrickson has a dislocated shoulder as well after the PAT. Maybe a little read option here with Hebert. Hebert's had some success in this game running the ball a little bit here, see if they bite on it, and they bring a lot of pressure, so Zimmer loses 4 yards on the keeper. Gonna run a little read option again here with a pitch, and Hebert able to get some yards after receiving the shovel. Antoine Andrews coming down with an injury. We are getting a lot of injuries all of a sudden. They're pressing Cooper Kupp on the outside. I like him to kind of beat his matchup one-on-one here. Play action, throwing it up top. He's beating his defender, getting the yards after the catch, and there's no one there to stop him. scoring the touchdown one-on-one. You cannot leave him out there one-on-one without its safety help. And Keaton on the sidelines, kind of dejected right now. Oh, but Antoine Andrews with a broken thumb. We have gotten a lot of game-ending injuries here for some of our players. Now, after Keaton has just made it a game again, we come down and score a touchdown in about 40 seconds. And so I'm sure he's got to be feeling the pressure back on him again here to make something happen before the end of the half. Trying to come down, get a sack, but we trip. Keaton goes for a scramble, try to get a tackle on him, and he goes down at the 40. They call their first timeout. And ideally, we would have forced a fumble there. He really took a long time to get going on the scramble, but we just tripped on one of the O-linemen with Christian Harris on the screen, and he can't get the throwaway in time, despite the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence is out right now. Actually, it looks like DeMarcus just came back. DeMarcus is back, but Trey Hendrickson is out for the rest of the game. We have a little bit less here of a pass rush. Run underneath, it's going to be complete. And I think they might have actually lost yards. I'm not sure. 3rd and 8 now. And we're just in cover 3. They got 3 receivers on the left side, so we're going to be kind of looking over that way a little bit. They got a couple drags, and he throws it out of bounds, and it's going to be a punt. All right, this is a QB run here. 20 seconds left. We're just going to try to run this time out here, not turning it over. See if we can get a big run here, though, with Jake Zimmer. And we've got good blocks. Can we get the edge? Oh, throws a defender off of him, almost gets out of bounds. We call a timeout. Cooper, if he would have just made that one block, Jake Zimmer would have been gone on that play. And now they're kind of in a little bit of a prevent here. And we're going to see if we can kind of beat this. They're definitely in zone. Oh, this is actually man. And we've got a lot of time, and it's man defense, so we're just going to try to scramble with it, getting field goal range, diving out of bounds, calling the timeout just to be extra safe, down at the 28. And we have that one touchdown to Cooper, but no touchdowns in the, once we've gotten into the red zone. Can we make this field goal? We do make it with Cade York. And that is now 4 field goals in the half and took a 26-7 lead. And our offense and defense are just chugging along against this 3-7 Bears team. Playing a little double nickel A-gap pressure here with Christian Harris and Browning as our linebackers over the center. And, ooh, Ryan Neal missing the tackle. Tariq missing the tackle on Saquon as well. Finally, Saquon goes down. And that is kind of the run that the Bears needed to get a little bit of momentum in this game. Saquon has been a non-factor up to this point in the running game. He did have the one touchdown on offense for them. It's a play action trying to get pressure on Marco Keaton, but he's able to complete the pass to the crosser. And they're going to be at the 50-yard line now. Good completion to Osborne there. Keaton didn't feel the pressure despite the fact that we were right in his face. Did a good job just hanging in there. Bringing pressure again, one-on-one. Simmons misses the tackle. Keenan Allen with a run after catch. Finally, we get the tackle with Tariq Woolen down at the 10-yard line. But this Bears offense has all of a sudden come alive a little bit here. Now, they really need to finish this off in the red zone, but we're in cover 3. They got 2 tight ends down the line of scrimmage, and we're sitting back, and they got George Kittle, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. You know he's going to always get some yards after the catch, and he was right on the 1-yard line. And so now it is a 2-possession game again here. We're going to be up by 12 after this PAT, and we need to come down and kind of answer this quick drive here. 4 plays, 75 yards. On the return is Moses Brackett, getting decent blocks, and unfortunately getting taken down at the 22-yard line. Kind of like I said, though, the Bears' offense is really good. If Marco Keaton can develop into a great QB, they have George Kittle, Saquon, and some good receivers in Keenan Allen and Osborne. Trying to go on the outside, and we get there. Minkah Fitzpatrick, though, coming over to get the tackle at the 24, and Tyron Smith coming down with an injury. And this has got to be the 5th or 6th injury of the game for us. Kind of thought we'd get more yards on that halfback off tackle with Lionel Hebert. It's going to be 2nd and 8 here. And they got a lot of players down on the line of scrimmage, and that makes me want to throw it over the top. And that's what we're going to try to do. Got Jamison on the right side of the field. Actually, that's Calvin Austin holding on to it as well. And Jake Zimmer, only 10 completions so far. Tyron's going to be out for the rest of the game. Jake Zimmer with only 10 completions so far, but for almost 200 yards. Lionel Hebert on the counter. Can we get this working a little bit? We bring it outside. Cooper following the block. Hebert doing a great job of getting yards after contact. 11 carries now for 60 yards, and this is exactly what we've been lacking on offense, is a consistent running game, and Hebert has absolutely changed what we do on offense. Oh, a short throw to Calvin Austin. He's not going to be able to hold on to it. Definitely a risky ball with the linebacker sitting right there in coverage. But yeah, Hebert has been a night and day difference from Ramondre, and I always thought Ramondre was going to be our future at running back with how well he played in our first season. After the catch, it's going to be 3rd and 4 now. Still in the same formation. We're going to break out of this a little bit, going to gun split close with Juszczyk in the backfield here. We got Quentin Posey as a crosser. They're bringing pressure, and we can't get the throw off in time. It was play action. And again, getting stopped basically in the red zone here. And we're taking another field goal. It's going to make it a 3-possession game again. Is it? Let's see. It's going to make it a 15-point game. So, no, it's actually still going to be a 2-possession game. We're going to bring Simmons on some pressure here in double A gap. It's play action. Simmons is there. Can he get to him? Unfortunately, they get the pass off to their tight end. No one can take him down before picking up the first. And Keaton has come back from starting out with 2 picks in the first quarter. Now 2 TDs, 2 picks, and a much better completion percentage. He's really rallied. Played a lot better in this third quarter. Saquon on the run, trying to stop him. And he still gets 2 yards on the carry. Bradley Moore, though, coming down with an injury after getting the catch on the last play. On 2nd and 8. Got Isaiah Simmons in coverage. It's going to be a man blitz here with Christian Harris. Saquon taking it up the middle. And Josh Jones can't make the tackle. Finally getting Saquon down. Now, we've had a tough time in nickel. We're going to move out of nickel into base 3-4 coverage. Despite the fact that they have 3 wide receivers on the field, playing underneath, watching the drags. Christian Harris is there for the interception, his 2nd of the game. Doing a great job in coverage on George Kittle. And doing a somersault, too. On 1st and 10 in pistol with Hebert in the backfield. And it is a Philly special. Can we make something happen? Trying to throw it over the top. Trying to get it to Calvin Austin. It's going to be an incompletion. On 2nd and 10 in pistol again here. Another play action. And we've got a receiver over the top. Oh my God. Jake Zimmer was on his back foot though. No, Jake Zimmer was on his back foot for that throw. So that's why it was so inaccurate. But now we're on a 3rd and 10 situation here. And I do want to throw. We're going to do a keeper here with Jake Zimmer though. And he gets taken down for a loss. Probably should have just given it to Hebert or done a pass play. But Cooper Kupp now has an injury as well. And that's like our 7th injury of this game on offense and defense combined. Punting the ball away is A.J. Cole, and kind of a bad punt. And we take it down to the 32. We could have done a much better job of punting that football away. And all of a sudden, we're just not kind of maintaining that focus we had in the first half, letting the Bears back into it. And a keeper by Keaton. And we try to force a fumble, but he's going to take it down at the 50. He now has 2 carries for 34 yards. And like I said, it's just been night and day. And we just saw that Cooper Kupp is going to be out with an abdominal tear. Usually that is a multi-week injury. Last time for Posey, it was a 5-week injury. Here with the run up the middle of Saquon. And it's all of a sudden our season is turning around mid-game. We are letting the Bears back into it, and we are just getting a lot of injuries. Hopefully most of these injuries are not for more than 1 game. We got some outs. Throws it underneath to George Kittle, and Simmons gets the big hit after a gain of 2. Keaton now with 2 TDs and 3 interceptions. That 3rd interception was thrown to Christian Harris. Again, trying to find George Kittle in this offense, but Harris has been all over him. Thrown to the right corner, and Keenan Allen, he got his feet down in bounds. I can't believe it. There's 18 seconds left, actually, left in the third quarter. They're down at the 30 now. We're dropping back in zone. I'm sitting on the curl. Keaton, though, faces pressure, and DeMarcus Lawrence gets the sack to make it 2nd and 24. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. On 2nd and 24, they are in strong, it looks like. We're in man coverage. We're not bringing pressure. I'm watching the corner route. We're there. Keenan Allen, though, trying to take it as far down the field as he can. Gets it down to the 26. It's going to be 3rd and 8 now. And Keenan Allen has been his #1 receiver up to this point, 90 receiving yards. But George Kittle's been right there with him. Dropping back into zone again here. Doing a great job finding the open man. 1st and 10 now. And we've been dropping back into zone, and I feel like the most success we've had on defense against Keaton is with the blitzes. Saquon running it, though. Picks up 2 yards before getting stopped. But yeah, I feel like we've had most success against Keaton when he's faced pressure in the blitz. I don't think running base zone coverage has been super successful. We're going to bring a man blitz here and see how this goes. Watching underneath, and Saquon is there for the touchdown. I did not expect Saquon to get open, of all people, in man coverage. But I think he ended up beating Baron Browning on that play. All right, 1st and 10 with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter. And our offense has slowed down significantly. This kind of feels like the Chargers playoff game against the Jaguars, slowly letting the Bears back into this game. Running halfback gut, and Hebert loses yards. And really, we're going to have to make something happen here. A little play action on 2nd and 11. And Posey's open underneath. And he gets taken out of bounds at the 27. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now. On 3rd and 4, we've got Cordarrelle in the backfield. We're going to send him out wide. Or actually, he's going to be kind of like sitting at the tight end spot right now. And we've got an empty set here. See what they run. It looks like it's zone. Actually, it's man. Throwing it over the top. A risky ball to Cordarrelle, and he gets pressured. Ends up being an interception because it's thrown short. And I was thinking that possibly we might have a scramble, but they brought pressure, and we were not ready for it. And it's a pick near the 50-yard line. And that is our first turnover of the game. I can't be too mad at Jake Zimmer, but that was not the most timely interception. On jet sweep, and we're all over it. They lose a yard. Keenan Allen, in X factor, but using him in a jet sweep does not make the most sense. We're going to bring pressure here in a zone blitz. We got 3 receivers out left. I'm a little bit worried about bringing pressure from that side. We got George Kittle on the curl. He holds on to it. It's going to be 3rd and 5 now. Now 4 minutes left in the quarter. We're going to run cover 1 here. We need to get everyone set. Kind of worried about getting George Kittle open on the drag. He looks like he might be open, and we push him out of bounds, luckily. He could have easily had the first turned up field and got more yards, but we shoved him out of bounds. It's going to be 4th and 3 now, and they have to go for it. Actually, they probably could take the field goal here. We're watching the curl, and Surtain gets beat. Josh Jones comes over and makes the tackle, though. But that's a play you think that Surtain gets a pick there, especially on a curl. He has just been all over curls all season long. Now 1st and 10, empty shotgun again here, and a corner route, and Josh Jones gets picked on in man coverage versus Jarvis Landry. And Keaton is dissecting this defense right now and kind of sees everything we're trying to do. 2-point conversion, though. This is huge for him. We're watching the curl. He's got no one. And Tariq tries to get back to Keenan Allen, and he shoves him into the end zone. Keenan Allen had to come back and grab the ball and ended up being around the 2 or 3 yard line, but Tariq overran the pass and got behind Keenan Allen. And now it's tied with 3 minutes left in a game that was a blowout to start. And we're back basically 0-0 here with 3.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and we cannot blow this game. Moses Brackett takes it back to the 20. At this point, they do have more offense than us. And again, we've had sustained a lot of injuries in this game. Posey underneath. We can't get the throw off, though. We take the sack. We're not looking at the right place right now. But yeah, Cooper Kupp out for the rest of this game. Trey Hendrickson out for the rest of this game. We got a couple of receivers out for some time, with Cooper Kupp possibly going to be out for multiple weeks. It's just like zone coverage. You got Moses Brackett streaking in the seam, and he catches it. And anytime we see zone, we can pick on it immediately. Again, in empty here. We got Posey over the top, and he holds on to it down in field goal range at the 34. And now from here, we can run it and try to burn the Bears timeouts as much as possible. And in fact, I want to run a QB draw here. See what we can do. Gonna hold on to it, though. I don't want to fumble. Okay, we didn't fumble. On 2nd and 6, our number 1 running back right now, Lionel Hebert. Can he get us a first? And we get good blocks from Juszczyk getting out to the edge. We can't go out of bounds, though. We get shoved out of bounds, though, at the 13. Darrell Taylor getting an injury. But down at the 13 now with a minute 55 left. The Bears have all of their timeouts. We're just going to try to run those timeouts away. Watching Juszczyk, trying to follow his block, getting up to the 11. And they're not using a timeout yet, which is kind of surprising. Again, Moses Brackett and Calvin Austin are our receivers on the field right now. 2 shorter, faster receivers with not a lot of route running ability. And it's pretty clear that we're going to be running the ball here, just wasting as much time as possible. But, you know, Posey here is our number 1 receiving threat because of injuries. Jameson is not injured right now, but he must be tired. But Cooper going to be out for some time. Hebert on the carry, and they're probably going to use their first timeout, and they do. It's 3rd and 6. Now, on 3rd and 6, we have the option to get Quentin Posey in a one-on-one, which is what we want, and we don't want Calvin Austin getting in the way. Looking at Quentin Posey the whole time here. Throwing it up top. He can't hold on to it, though, with Minkah Fitzpatrick all over him. It's going to be 4th and 6 with a minute left, and we're going to use a time, or we're going to take a field goal here. Don't need to use a timeout. But that leaves the Bears with 2 timeouts and 1 minute remaining. All right, we're running a man blitz here. We're sending Isaiah Simmons from the left side. That was going to be opposite of the halfback, but he shifted the halfback over as they switched formations. We're watching the drags. We're watching underneath. George Kittle not getting many yards. And they don't have a whole lot of time to be thrown underneath like that. They don't have time to just, you know, take as long as they need on this drive. Throwing it underneath again to Saquon, and Saquon trying to get out of bounds. Did he get out? I can't believe Saquon fought out of bounds after getting tackled at midfield, essentially. It's going to be 3rd and inches now. They need big yards. We're dropping back into zone coverage here. We know it's a pass. Watching Saquon. Now Keaton trying to find somebody. Tariq is there, though, for the interception, and that is going to be game. And Tariq can just fall down. He's going to go out of bounds. And the play of the game made by Tariq Woolen, though. Tariq has had some trouble on one-on-one jump balls, but this time he did not disappoint. You know, getting in front of the receiver on that pass, and Jarvis Landry never really had much of a chance with, you know, being like 5'10" or however tall he is. Yeah, there was not much of a shot he was winning a jump ball against Tariq Woolen. And 4 turnovers is 1 turnover too many, as we are going to win this game 32-29, barring any sort of crazy fumble. And the Bears use their first timeout, and we're going to just continue to run it here with Lionel Hebert. He's got very high carrying. I'm not too worried about a fumble. Taking it right up the middle, and Hebert almost able to pick up that first down. It's going to be 3rd and 2, and we're going to run it one more time, and that's going to be the game. And despite the fact that we let the Bears kind of get back into this game, I'm happy with how we kind of fought to hold on to the lead and win it. And Hebert, 18 carries for 86 yards is a very solid performance. Again, something that we have missed a lot. Looking at the stats after the game, Marco Keaton, despite having a really, really rough start to the game and throwing a kind of a jump ball pick at the end of it, finished with 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So, if you take away those 4 interceptions, he played very well, throwing for almost 300 yards, having a really good completion percentage. But Jake Zimmer out-dueling him in this one, mostly just by not turning the ball over. He ended up with a higher passer rating, slightly lower completion percentage, slightly less yards, less attempts, but 1 touchdown and 1 interception in the game. Rushing the ball, Lionel Hebert had 18 carries for 86 yards, averaging almost 5 yards per carry, definitely outplaying Saquon, who had 9 carries for 29 yards only. And we have shut down Saquon, a couple times now in this rivalry. Jake Zimmer with 5 carries for 50 yards as well, doing a great job on the ground. And Marco Keaton also had a pretty good game running the football. Receiving-wise, George Kittle with 6 catches, leading the way for both teams for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. But Cooper Kupp with 3 catches for 90 yards off of one, 50-yard pass where he kind of beat his defender and took it into the end zone for a touchdown. But he does go out with the game with a abdominal tear, so he's going to be out for some time. Quentin Posey, 4 catches for 60 yards. And no one else had a touchdown in the game because Jake Zimmer only threw 1 to Cooper Kupp. But Calvin Austin with a catch, Antoine Andrews with a catch, Moses Brackett with a catch, Juwan Johnson and Lionel Hebert each with 2 catches. Defensively, Christian Harris led the way along with Baron Browning in tackles. In QB sacks, DeMarcus Lawrence is the only one on our team with a sack. Christian Harris finished with 2 interceptions, Tariq with 1 to seal the game, and Surtain with 1 as well. Forced fumbles, there were none. And touchdowns, Christian Harris had the 1 pick 6. After the game, we have a couple upgrades. Our backup right tackle, Nicolas Petit-Frere, I don't know if that's actually how you say his name, but we're going to upgrade his agile, just continue to boost his overall rating. And that's going to boost his run block and his pass block finesse. And he's pretty balanced at right tackle right now, looking pretty solid. Again, only 23 years old. He's got a lot of time to continue to develop, but a backup tackle that's 73 overall and 23 is very good. Cade York getting another upgrade. Going to upgrade his power. Already able to bang some 60-yard field goals at times. He's got upgrade to his accuracy. Already has 99 kick power. So, yeah, continuing to boost that accuracy is the next thing that we want to do. And then lastly, Quentin Posey getting an upgrade, much needed after missing 5 games with an abdominal tear himself. And he's getting close to that point where we can see what his development is. Still hidden for the time being, but we're going to upgrade his vertical threat and continue to hope that boosts his blocking up a little bit as well. And for this vertical threat upgrade, he's going to get some boost to break tackle, run block, catch in traffic, catching, deep route, juke, and medium route. So now looking at his stats, still 88 speed, 88 catching, 70 run blocking now, 70 deep route running. Finally getting his route running to a place where it's getting pretty good. He does get pretty open already at this point. The thing that we really want to upgrade at 6'6" is his spectacular catch is only an 80. That's something that we really want to get up there quite a ways. So we're going to have to boost his possession a little bit as well. All right, so after the game, we have sustained a number of injuries. Cooper is going to be out 5 weeks with an abdominal tear. Tyron Smith, our starting left tackle, is going to be out 3 weeks with a dislocated elbow. Jameson is going to be out for 1 week with a high ankle sprain. So our 3 starting receivers are going to be out because Antoine Andrews is out with a broken thumb for 4 weeks. So we're down to a crew of complete backup wide receivers. And Mercedes Lewis is out for 2 weeks with a broken collarbone. So these are all offensive side. They're all on the offensive side of the ball. And that is going to be, passing the ball downfield a big problem. We're going to have to rely on the running game a lot more in our game upcoming against who are we actually playing next? We're going to play the Falcons next week. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to our game against the Falcons. We're going to have to get creative with what we do on offense a little bit. But I look forward to that game. Thank you so much for watching, and peace, you guys.